Most people probably take their camera, plug it directly into their computer, and import their images that way. But I like to take the card out of the camera, put it in a reader, then plug it up to my computer and import the images that way. And the reason I do that, it's just quicker, it's better, it's faster, and I have less hangups and less problems. All right, so from File, I'll select Import Photos and Videos. Notice there is a shortcut there. And then from here, you have to select your device. You'll see the Nikon D850, and that's the card. It's reading the card. So I'll select that. So depending on whether your card had previous images or not, you might see those grayed out here. But most of the time, I take my card and I reformat it after I remove the images and after I backed up in Lightroom. So more often than not, I will just leave all of these checked. I don't uncheck these, and every now and then though, I might get a really bad one that maybe I was really wildly underexposed, and I might not import that one. But most of the time I import everything. And you can easily do that just by unchecking. Now you can also kind of zoom in here and look at the images, just kind of scroll through them on the keyboard. And as you go, if you find an image that you don't want to keep, you can just uncheck it. Now I'll hold the cursor down here and you can see the shortcuts. You could toggle through these and check them as you go. And this is a handy way to review your images and just uncheck what you don't want to keep and leave what you want checked. And then when you're done, you can come back to the grid view and it's all done here. Most of the time, I just look at the images briefly. And like I'd mentioned earlier, I pull everything in unless something was really grossly underexposed. So I'll check all. And there's some options down here. You can check all or uncheck all and maybe go through one at a time and check them. So just personal preference here. You can also sort these too by A to Z or Z to A. And you can increase the thumbnail size as well. Now, some of the more important points here is building previews. And this requires a little discussion. So don't click off the video just yet. This is super important. If you're not familiar with this, keep this in mind. If you are familiar with this would be a good review. But minimal, basically the way to look at this is like this. There's minimal, and then there's one-to-one, and then there's some in-betweens. You can click minimal and get a faster import. You can click one-to-one, it's a slower import. But the trade-off is when you're in the development module, or the library module rather, and you're zooming into the images. If you select one-to-one, when you zoom into 100%, you get a really good image to review, because what Lightroom does is it imports a raw file, and it doesn't change the raw file. You're not processing a raw file. You're basically processing an overlay that goes over the raw file. It's non-destructive workflow. So these previews allow Lightroom to build a preview of your image that allows you to zoom in quickly. So the trade-off is, now if I do the one-to-one, it's going to take Lightroom a little while to build those images. And here's where it's important. If you're a landscape photographer like me, you're probably importing 7, 10, maybe 15 or 20 images, and maybe 50. But if you're a wildlife photographer or a sports photographer, you may be importing hundreds of images. So you may want a fast import. And then in post-processing, you can build your previews one at a time if you like. And so again, it's personal preference. But as a landscape photographer, typically importing 7 to 15, I'm going to go one-to-one. And that gives me the option to really zoom in the library module and just choose my images, which ones I'm going to keep or process and which ones I'm not. There's some other options here, like adding to a collection. This is a handy tool if you have smart collections like I do here, and maybe some of these, you might select those and you can import these images directly into those collections. But most of the time I don't do that. And if I want to add them to a collection, I'll do that in post-processing. I should note that there are some preview options that you may want to consider. If we come up to the Lightroom Classic and hit the catalog settings, we can go to previews here, and there's some options here. Standard preview size. I always leave this at auto because I want it to be based on the monitor, and whatever monitor I'm using my Benro monitor right now, so I want the preview to adjust to that monitor. And then I'll select the preview quality. Normally I leave this to medium, but occasionally I'll put this on high. And this is just a temporary file that Lightroom keeps. And depending on your computer storage, you may want to go high, you may want to go medium. I find that there's not much difference between high and medium, so I'll most often leave that at medium. But the good thing here is you have control over these previews. And like I said, I like the one-to-ones, and I'll typically leave those as after 30 days to be deleted. And that just gets rid of those files and saves storage space on my computer. Okay, so file renaming. I always click rename files, and I have my structure set up for custom name and original file number, depending on whether I'm using film or digital, maybe scans for film. I change this up a little bit, but most of the time my structure is pretty simple. It's a custom name and the original file number. Original file number being, I like to see the camera, the number of images that I've captured. The custom text is handy, and it remembers the last several names that you've given here. But for example, Lightroom test, I could just select that. Or if that's not what I want to do, I can just type in the custom text that I want, whatever that might be. In this case, I'll just select from the list, Lightroom test. The development settings this is a pretty cool feature here. You can have some presets and apply those changes. Lightroom's a pretty versatile tool. You can have some of the basic things like profile corrections already checked in these presets and apply that to all images upon import. I used to do that, but what I found is I like a lot of control over my images. And as a landscape photographer, I like to go through them just one at a time. So I have the metadata in the camera already set, and I apply that to all the images. And that can be your address, your name, or any other relevant data that you want to attach to each image. Now the keywords, I think this is super important. I like to keyword my images in Lightroom, and this really helps me find images later that I'm searching for. For example, this one I might want to add a keyword like home, and maybe something else like, I don't know, test, or maybe this is for a YouTube video. And I can add those keywords, and later when I'm going back to search, it makes it a lot easier to find those. Now the destination, there's some options here. I like to organize by date. And you can set up any kind of structure that you want here. And I just like this particular date format, but again, this is personal preference. So here's my structure right here. And I put these images on my hard drive of the computer. And so long story short, but I'll tell you real quickly, I like to keep my hard drive, the data that's on my hard drive, the file size of my hard drive low. It helps the computer run faster. So what I'll typically do is I'll leave about a year's worth, maybe 6 month worth of images on my hard drive. And then the other images, I move those to a portable hard drive. And I can bring this portable hard drive with me, and I don't have to store all these files on my computer. And we'll get more into the storage and my backups and all of that later in another video. So with that, I'm all set. I'll go ahead and I'll hit the import. Now, as you can see, Lightroom's taking a bit of time to import these images. And the reason for that is because it's building those one-to-one previews, as you can see right here. And like I'd mentioned earlier, yeah, the previews take a little time to build, but for me, it's well worth it, because once I'm in the library module and I'm zooming in and out and checking the sharpness of these images and the details, I select the image that I'm going to process or that I'm going to keep. And maybe I select several images, then I go back and I just kind of keep refining my search back and forth until maybe I narrow it down to 1 or 2 images. And I like being able to do that with all the previews already built. Yes, you can build the previews after you've imported them. Basically, like I'd mentioned earlier, a quicker import, but a slower processing. I'd rather have a slower import and a quicker processing. So with 13 images, you can see it didn't take that long to import them at 1-to-1. So now in the library module, what I can do is click on an image, and then I can zoom in to 100%. If you'll notice, there's no delay whatsoever, and the quality of the preview is really good. Now, had I not built the 1-to-1 previews, I would have that option to do that here, and I could selectively do that. I could build previews for one image or for all images. So now in the library module, I can quickly select an image, Zoom in, check sharpness. Nope, not going to keep that one. Next image. I'm going to zoom in. Not going to keep that one. Maybe this one's the one I want to keep. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and flag that one. Shortcut for that is P. Zoom in. Maybe here. Check sharpness. You could see it's just a lot quicker to do that with the previews built on all images. But like I'd mentioned, if you're importing 1,000 images, this might not be the way to go. Next image. Maybe go back, zoom in. Yeah, I'm going to keep that one. Let's pick that. And then I'll go through my images and decide which ones I want to keep based on sharpness, exposure, other factors. Pick those. Then I'll come down and filter, go to the flagged, narrow it down to a few more images. So now that your images are in Lightroom and you're ready to start post-processing, you may want to watch my video on how to process a raw image in Lightroom for landscape photography. You can watch that right here. See you on the trail.